Buenas tardes, Senor, Senorita. Welcome today to our sessions. Today we'll be discussing about how important when it comes to a party or a celebration or off duty you're going to work or on duty, there are certain formal customs you wear, and there are also informal dressing you wear when you're going, for example, to sporting. For example, if it goes for your work, you will have a formal dress, right? You have to place a tie, a certain, if you are, let's say a junior, you will place a white shirt. If you are a senior, you will place a darker t-shirt, right? Now, when it comes into similarly, if you're going for, let's say, for sports, you're going to play your inside your gym. So there are certain sport kits you have to wear, right? So we call them tracking suits. Now, when it comes into business, right, there is a business needs to be residing with a certain architecture that is overseen for the non-functional requirements by an architect designer. For example, let's say we're looking on operational, the first part, and I need to integrate a system integration, whether it could be a handheld device, a portable devices, a third-party application. So the best suited architecture will work into it will be the server-based thin and the thick client. When it comes to portability, then you need to go through thin client. When it comes to manageability, for instance, you need to go onto the server-based and onto the thin client. Now, when it comes into the performance, so we're talking about speed requirements. So when I need certain speed, so I will be looking onto the thin and the thick client. When I look on capacity, I need a big storage area. Again, I will be looking onto the thin and the thick client. When it comes to reliability, right, then and availability, then I'll be looking onto the server-based and the thin client. Now, when we look onto security, when it comes to security, I need to secure the whole system, right? So the best suited will be your server-based, right, and as well onto your thin client and the thick client. When it comes into, for example, virus control, so you're having your server-based. When it comes to access control, again, is your server-based, right? But when it comes into encryption and decryption, you will have your thin client and you will have your thick client. Now, whereas if I'm looking onto the political and environmental factors, such as I need to use a multi-language, for example, I'll be using English, Arabic, French, or Germany, right, or Spanish, right, based on the two languages you're choosing, so that will be most suitable for a thin client because you have an end client, you're going to use it, right? Now, when it comes to customization from the programmers and developers, so again, they will look onto the thin client. When it comes to custom norms, custom notations, again, you're going to use a thin client. But when it comes to legal requirements, I need to have a copyright. It needs to be placed on your server base, needs to be placed as well on your thin client and onto the thick client. So it's very important, so as you can see, that to address the architect needs to address the based on the business needs on what are the fitting customs from the architecture point of view to be worn onto it, right? This has been a great pleasure discussing today business requirement and business specification. Till we meet next week, we'll be discussing about further on hardware and software and how do you reside with the best architecture, right? Ponto gracias, tive pronto.